Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Piglet here once again. Hey, I'm Rarity here. Hey, every pony and everyone else for that matter, and welcome back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos. So, yeah, and welcome back to more Let's Play of Mario Kart DS for the Nintendo DS. So last time that we actually did tackle for Leaf Cup as far as the 3rd Retro Cups retrospectively, and also the 7th Cup in the entire game. And now we're going to continue on and moving on into the final cup before we actually get into the battle mode stages and also the mission modes, and then eventually we'll just tackle through the extra stuff, more likely the time trials and versus modes. Even then though, we'll explain more on these two modes until for last, because even then though, that we actually got, you know, one more cup to deal with, which was Lightning Cup, because that's the part of the reason of this uploading is today. So for this finale of this little Grand Prix department, let's go ahead and use our very familiar character known as Rob we're about to be using. So basically he does have his very familiar looking cards, like this card for instance is actually very similar to how it does it for the accessory from the Nintendo Entertainment System type of stuff, which I found is kind of cool. And also the standard RB means Rob, and also some of these leg looking cards, which is actually kind of weird and also fascinating at the same time, because usually Rob doesn't have legs to begin with. So even then though, he does potentially try to be attached to these little 6 familiar colored circular stuff, well, excluding 5 where we're going to be using our cart at the moment for today. So here we have right now is Lightning Cup, which is consist of, in this case, the final cup in the Retro Cups department and the final cup in the entire game. So anyways, SNES Choco Island 2, N64 Banshee Boardwalk, and GBA Sky Garden, and finally GCN Yoshi Circuit. So yeah, so let's get started. So first off we have is SNES Choco Island 2. So which was originated from, you know, Super Mario Kart and all that, but even then though, you know, the 3D environment is actually a bit more improvement, or even then though, that's the only major differences between the two. But I digress though. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, is that Rob is the only Mario Kart playable character appearance in the entire series, but that's usually how this goes. But even then though, he does make his another appearances in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and even Super Smash Bros. 4 for the Nintendo 3DS and for the Nintendo Wii U. But we don't know if Nintendo Switch is going to happen though, but even then though, we'll just have to find out until that time comes. So basically in this level though, is that we actually feature some of these piranha plants standing from each sides, and that's all that essentially how this goes. And also some little bit of a mud every once in a while, which can actually provide you for some little bit of physics department. So even then there, every time when you drove through this little, it also reminds me of like a chocolate type of lake. But even then though, that's how it usually goes though, hey? Speaking of such though, is that I'm presuming that Choco Island 2 was originated from, I'm pretty sure the, that was actually represents the Star Cup as far as the Super Mario Kart tracks goes. And it represents the second course, so that's how it's usually I must think of. So yeah, I think that's about it when it comes to those little types of situations and all that kinds of stuff. So yeah, but even then though, this course is pretty easy as pie, as long as you actually get paying attention to, you know, the track layout and all that kinds of stuff. But yeah, pretty cool. Now we move on into N64 Banshee Boardwalk from Mario Kart 64, from the likes of what it actually represents from Special Cup in the likes of the second, oh no, actually the 3rd course of Special Cup in Mario Kart 64, because I'm guessing much like how it does it for Super Mario Kart, when it comes to the Special Cups department, almost unlike the future installments, they always seem to put in Bowser's Castle after the Rainbow Road. But even then though, that Banshee Boardwalk was before Rainbow Road in Mario Kart 64. And I believe Vanilla Lake 2 was actually before the SNES, you know, Rainbow Road from the original Super Mario Kart. So yeah, pretty interesting. So yeah, yeah, because I remember that when it comes to the Special Cup lists, there's actually provides for, you know, based off of more likely to be that it actually contains like, you know, GK's Jungle Parkway, and also Yoshi Valley, and Banshee Boardwalk, and Rainbow Road. So yeah, that's usually how this goes. Because if I do recall correctly, is that when it comes to the Star Cup in Mario Kart 64, is that it only contains in the final course was actually Bowser's Castle. So that makes a little bit of total differences anyway. Even though it does the exact same things it does it for the Super Nintendo counterpart, but it only gets just the multiple versions of the Bowser's Castle levels, because usually that's what it represents how that numbers is actually coded in. So that means it's like, I'm assuming that in the Super Nintendo installment of Super Mario Kart, at least as far as Bowser's Castles is concerned, well, we do know the fact that in Super Circuit does contains only 4, but I'm presuming that the Super Nintendo installment of Mario Kart did only contain 3. So as far as memory is concerned, that's how it usually goes. So yeah, I think that's about it when it comes to those types of stuff. So I'm assuming that, oh yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned is that we were totally wrong about the Koopa Beach 2, is that it was actually located in the Special Cup, like it's all correct and what have you, but the only thing we got it wrong is actually the order, because usually though that Donut Plains 3 did actually come first for that Special Cup department in Super Mario Kart, and then after that it will be the Koopa Beach 2, so there, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. So I really do apologize for that, every pony. It's just my mistakes and stuff, so, you know. So yeah, for this course, by the way, it's actually not that much different compared to how it does in the original version of Banshee Boardwalk. But even then, though, that's the only major difference was, though, is that the cheap model is actually a little bit more slightly modernized, as well as the boost is actually a little bit modernized as well. So yeah, that's all it usually goes, including the likes of these bats as well. Alright, so next up we have is GBA, or in this case Game Boy Advance, mind you, for as a long and extensive a title, which we have Sky Garden, which was originated for, sorry for lack of the, you know, dialogue is messed up around here. But anyway though, so this track was originated from, obviously, Mario Kart Super Circuit, in the likes of the Lightning Cups. Even then though, that was actually the second track of, you know, the Lightning Cup in Mario Kart Super Circuit. So, which I'm expectingly that, yeah, I was really hoping if that the next Mario Kart game, well, we don't know if that it will be Mario Kart 9 or something like that, although we'll have to find out and wait and see what happens. How in the world did Warrior just manage to dodge that when we actually did ourselves what we're trying to do with the two blue shell ownage combo? And speaking of such stuff, the ownage, we actually got ownage by the big bullet bill right here, which is really unfair. And also that if you're curious about something, is that if you get hit by a bullet bill or what have you, you lose items temporarily. So even then though, you can't essentially try to, you know, try to get them back as long as if you actually just be more skillful or what have you. So there's a giant shortcut you can perform in Sky Garden like this, even especially noticeable if you actually try to actually, you know, let's just say if you actually did Daisy somehow shoved Toad off? That's a bit rude of you, if you ask me. Pardon me, darling. Anyway though, so yeah, as far as this this particular Sky Garden is concerned, it's basically the exact same thing as it does it for the original version, but within, you know, 3D environments. So yeah, that's all those the only major differences between, you know, the original counterpart and you know, this variation. So, you know. So yeah, there's actually multiple ways you can perform some shortcuts and what have you, as we mentioned earlier, like the likes of the you know, in order to actually just to perform one of the shortcuts is that you're gonna have to perform yourselves. Oh, we were hoping to actually own Waluigi just to begin with. Uh-oh, this is bad. Oh, come on. We only got 4th place. That was really awful. Oh well. If we're hoping if we actually get ourselves the much more better rank, but unfortunately though, due to the blue shell on the end, that got us to the end. So the final track in the actual Mario Kart DS Retro Cups department, and also the final course in the Lightning Cup, and that was the form of the GCN Yoshi Circuit, which was originated from Mario Kart Double Dash, obviously. And that was the form of the 3rd course on Star Cup. So yeah, that's how it usually goes. And also that this track was actually returning from the likes of the, similar to Baby Park from Mario Kart 8 DLC, This track does also make a return as far as the actual DLC itself already, which I'm assuming it did actually came out until 2014 with the the first Mario Kart 8 DLC contains Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach, and especially Link. One of the first time that Link actually joins in a crossover for the Mario title, which is actually pretty cool. But the same goes to how it does it for the Animal Crossing characters as well, especially the Splatoon characters, the Inkling Boy and the Inkling Girl, until the Nintendo Switch reveals itself. We still kept on thinking of trying to deal with the the Blue Shell double ownage, but sometimes it doesn't seem to work either way. But anyway though, let's just hopefully we can actually catch up at one point or another, and hopefully we won't get in 4th place, unlike how it does it for the previous course. So yeah, I don't think there's any way we can actually just manage to get ourselves a perfect run on this car, because enemies can no, not enemies. Items can be sometimes usually pop up at one another for the bottom screen section, but even then though, that's how it usually goes though. So let's talk about the differences between this variation of Yoshi Circuit compared to how it does in Mario Kart Double Dash version. Is that obviously you can perform a shortcut, but you can still only use the mushroom in order to get to it. But then as far as the other shortcuts you can perform, like this mini tunnel with this little curvy part right there, is that the curvy part, even for this little tunnel section, is now completely gone. Because I don't know why, due to the limitations of how much like how it does it for the pipe cannon from Mushroom Bridge, is that somehow it's entirely removed, because you don't want to waste your time on that, wasting your time on this particular section. I think that's why. But even then though, I found this to be much more nicer. But even then though, I still kind of have some fun memories about the the Double Dashes version. So yeah, that was it for the entire Grand Prix mode, and also the Lightning Cup itself. So even then though, we're pretty much done with the Grand Prix mode. So let's see our current standings. That Wario, he's in 3rd place, and Waluigi, he's in 2nd place, and we're number 1. That Rob, he's actually number 1 here. So yeah, he might be really become a number 1 I don't know what's number 1 NES accessory, all that kinds of stuff, but we take a B rank because due to the Sky Garden's 4th place position. If only if that we can actually get ourselves a star ranking on that cup to begin with. If only if that we can actually be dominated for the the Sky Gardens just to begin with. So but unfortunately though, we didn't get ourselves our chances though. So anyway though, so yeah, that was about it. So we'll just show you this little specific credits right here. So I'm pretty sure this might be the true ending of Mario Kart DS. Now the reason why we decided to showcase for this is because there is also a mission mode. That mission mode does also contains credit sequences, but it might act out quite differently compared to how it does it what you're seeing right now. Because as you can see on the staff credit sequence in Mario Kart DS, is that it depends on what characters you'll be using, especially the other players you're about to be racing against with. They usually drive around this little horizontal lane in a 2D plane or 2.5D plane, and basically they manage to driving on a straight line. There are some kind of emphasis on this little hills and stuff like that, but even then though, it's pretty cool to look at. Yeah, especially how it does it for how the Nintendo DS's capabilities are, especially how it does it for back in Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's usually more likely, sometimes it's more like 3D, but other times mainly the character models can be slightly subbed up as 2D sprites and stuff. So yeah, for the this is the true ending of Mario Kart DS. Is how this to offer is that in order to actually get this, is that you need to actually get access to all the golds in every single races in all the classes. So like 50cc, 100cc, and especially 150cc, and even including 150cc mirror mode. So yeah, in order to actually unlock mirror mode, it's by basically trying to actually get every single gold trophies in every cups in 3 classes to begin with. And then in order to actually unlock some specific characters though, however, we'll discuss more on that as soon as we actually just about to discuss that in the next episode, because we're pretty sure we're not done with this Let's Play just yet though, because as we mentioned earlier, that we're about to be tackling through battle mode first things first, and also tackle through missions mode, and then finally we're about to end things off while showcase the time trials of this game, and also the versus mode. So even then though, we'll just have to do that for fun. Even for mirror mode of how it looks like. So as a matter of fact though, Rarity, that we can actually do that. Oh yes, of course. My bad, darling. No, you don't need to apologize though, Rarity. That's just how this is. So yeah, it's pretty cool though. And in fact, I think this is easily, without doubt, one of my favorite handheld Mario Kart games, next to Mario Kart 7. Although, don't get me wrong, Mario Kart 7 was still awesome even to this day. But unfortunately though, the only downside I can think of is the Kyoto roster, because the Kyoto roster feels a little bit too weird for my liking. But anyway though, so let's just say, let's go ahead and end things off here. Oh, before we actually end things off here though, however, that if you're actually trying to unlock everything in Mario Kart DS, you get yourselves this very familiar photo, which shows every single character on screen, like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Toad, Donkey Kong, Wario, Bowser, including unlockable characters like Daisy, Drybones, Waluigi, and Rob, which I think is kind of cool, and also the logo of Mario Kart DS, which I believe this actually takes place in Figure 8 Circuit, because as far as I'm concerned, I think that's what this actually contains from. So anyways, we're going to end things off here, so join us next time on Let's Play Mario Kart DS. Is the fact that we're moving on into showcase the battle modes, which only contains only 2 modes, but Balloon Battle and Shine Runners. So yeah, see you guys next time. Later fellas, see you guys later.